on, RPM's good, and as you see, the OBD says 70 miles an hour. Alright, so we're gonna start a road test today. Turn on the engine. It's gonna be difficult to hold this phone while I shift and drive. So I got 2 cameras up. What I'll do, I'm gonna try to mount this camera that you currently see looking at the cluster here, trying to mount it to the side. Hopefully, the way I've done it so far, I should be able to get a little bit of the cluster. So while I first drive down the highway, you're just going to be staring at the cluster through the mount. So once I'm on the road and I won't have to shift, I'll take my hand and I'll put it and I'll hold the phone over the cluster so you can see that the cluster is working with the code. Plus I also just adjusted the code again because I wanted to see if I can get the miles per hour synced with the torque app. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. All right, so get this started here. Any minute. All right, so I got that synced up. Let's roll out. Okay. All right. So we got steady idle. I'm gonna put the cruise control on when I get on the highway. Right now I'm gonna try to sync the Torque Pro up with this with my phone here. So right now I've got on the Torque Pro, it says 35 seconds. So 2 minutes 30 seconds on the phone, and the Torque Pro right now says 45 seconds sync. All right. All right, here we go. So hopefully that'll get a decent shot at everything working. And hopefully the wind noise won't be too bad either. So let's roll. I'm gonna put the cruise control on. Show you that works as well. Sync the Torque Pro again. Torque Pro right now says 148. Miles per hour coming through nicely on the Torque Pro app. That means the engine computer sees the miles per hour, because that's the engine computer that's pushing out the miles per hour on the OBD scanner. Hopefully the phone won't bounce too much. if I can put the stabilizer on it. Oop, green light. Boost gauge looks to be working properly. Gotta bleed these brakes again. A little too soft still. All right, about to go on a highway. Let's put the cruise control on. Set the speed. Maybe not. We're gonna have to wait. Normally there's no traffic out here, but it is, I don't even know what time it is. 11:23. The miles per hour on the instrument cluster seems to be working pretty good. It says 62. The gauge says about 59, 55. Yeah, so like 57 to 60. That's not too bad. So I'm off just a couple miles. Normally it's off like 10 miles. Let's try to cruise control again. Oh, look at that. It says 69 and I'm doing 65. Yeah, so not too bad. control's on, set, and the car is coming over. There we go. Cruise control is now on. All right, let's see if I can take the phone. So as you see, the cruise control light's on, RPM's good, and as you see, the OBD says 70 miles an hour. So about 4 miles off. That's not bad. I can live with that. I mean, I can fine tune it more, but that's not too bad. Alright, I'm going to kill the cruise control. Well, you know what? Let's let it run. Let's let it run. Actually, hey, let's get off here. Alright, just kill the cruise control. I'm going to turn around here. I want to see how the boost reacts. So far, I am very satisfied with my code. I think it's time to move it on to the next stage. Try to see if I can get this other board where it's more of a compact unit with an enclosure, in case anybody else want one. All right. See how this boost gauge do. Boost gauge seems to be keeping up. Alright, so the boost gauge says 20 and the OBD says, well, it says lower than 20 now. Now it says 15 as you can see on the screen. Yep, boost gauge to me is working how I want it. Excellent. Excellent. I can put the cruise control back on. I want to test the cruise control more. Lights on, set. There we go. OBD says 65, the dash says 60, so, or 60, 61-ish. So 4 or 5 miles off. Alright, probably gonna be too many cars coming up. Turning the cruise control off. sitting back on the holder. So I can ride this curve. Notice the torque shows up. If you don't have the miles per hour like that, the torque is not going to show up. Now that OBD speed that you see on the cluster, well, not the cluster, on the OBD scanner there, that is directly feeding the Cummins computer from the Ford ABS module. So everything working nicely.